I'm under my truck, wrench in hand, oil dripping on my forehead, when my phone buzzes. The text from Rachel makes my blood freeze. Met a lawyer to see how your inheritance works. I wipe my greasy hands on my coveralls and text back. Smart. She has no idea I'm sitting on the old will, and my sister Annie's on speed dial. My name's Jack Sullivan, and I've been fixing cars in this dying New England town for 20 years. Rachel's a hotshot lawyer who married beneath her station, or so her family never stops reminding me. Especially her brother Derek, who drives a BMW he can't afford and thinks my inheritance from Uncle Pete should have gone to someone more deserving. The inheritance isn't massive, just Uncle Pete's auto shop and the property it sits on. But in this economy, it's worth enough to make people stupid. I slide out from under the truck and call Annie. "Jackie, what's wrong?" she answers immediately. "Rachel's making moves on Uncle Pete's will. Time to play chess." Annie runs the town's biggest hair salon, which means she knows everyone's secrets. "What do you need?" "Call lawyer Glick. Tell him I want to discuss my inheritance options. Today." 2 hours later, I'm sitting in Glick's cramped office above the pizza joint. He's reviewing the will with yellowed fingers. "Your wife has no legal claim," he says. "But if you die, she inherits everything as your spouse." "What if I change the will?" "Easy enough. Who would you prefer?" I smile. "My sister Annie." That evening, Rachel comes home late, reeking of expensive cologne that isn't mine. She's been working late a lot lately, usually with Derek hanging around the office. "How was your day?" she asks, not looking up from her phone. "Productive. Talked to a lawyer about my inheritance." Her head snaps up. "What lawyer?" "Just exploring options. You know, being smart." The color drains from her face. "Jack, we should discuss this together. As a team. Like how you discussed it with your lawyer. As a team?" She fumbles for words. "I was just gathering information." "Sure you were." That night, she makes 3 hushed phone calls. I hear Derek's name mentioned twice. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. The next morning, Derek shows up at my shop uninvited. He's wearing a suit that costs more than most people make in a month, driving that BMW with the scratched bumper he's too proud to fix. "We need to talk," he announces, not bothering with pleasantries. "About what?" "Rachel says you're being difficult about the inheritance." I keep working on the engine in front of me. "It's my inheritance, Derek, not ours." "Look, Jack, let's be realistic here. You're a mechanic. Rachel's a lawyer. She understands financial planning, investments, legal structures. You fix cars. And yet, Uncle Pete left everything to me. Funny how that works." Derek's face reddens. "This is bigger than you, Jack. Rachel has plans. We have plans. That property could be developed, turned into something profitable instead of this grease pit. Get out of my shop. You're making a mistake. Rachel deserves better than this, better than you." I set down my wrench and face him. "She married me, Derek, not you." That was before she knew her potential, before she understood what she could achieve with the right support. "Support? Is that what you call it?" Derek steps closer. "I'm trying to help my sister build a future. If you can't see that, you're even dumber than I thought. Your sister's building something, all right, just not with me." That afternoon, I follow Rachel to lunch. She meets Derek at Romano's, the fancy Italian place downtown. They sit close, sharing wine, laughing. Derek reaches across the table and touches her hand. I snap a photo and send it to Annie with a message. "Family lunch?" Annie texts back immediately. "Holy shit, Jackie, what are you going to do?" "Play the long game." That evening, I confront Rachel directly. "How was lunch with Derek?" She doesn't miss a beat. We discussed the inheritance situation. He's concerned about your decision-making. I bet he is. Looked pretty concerned in that photo. Her composure cracks. What photo? I show her the image on my phone. This one. Very brotherly. Jack, you're being paranoid. Derek and I are close, but we're siblings. We're trying to help you make smart choices. By cutting me out of my own inheritance? By maximizing its potential. That property is worth 3 times more if it's developed properly. We could all benefit. We, or you and Derek? Rachel's mask slips completely. Derek understands business, Jack. He understands growth, opportunity, planning for the future. You just see an old garage. Uncle Pete left it to me because he knew I'd preserve what he built, not tear it down for condos. Uncle Pete was a stubborn old man who died broke. Uncle Pete was family, something you and Derek seem to have forgotten. The fight escalates. Rachel screams about wasted potential and small-town thinking. I stay calm, which makes her angrier. Finally, she storms out, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the windows. I call Glick immediately. I want to change my will tomorrow morning. Everything goes to Annie. Consider it done. 2 days later, Derek arrives with backup, our former friends Mike and Tom, guys I've known since high school. They look uncomfortable but determined. Jack, we need to talk, Mike says. This situation with Rachel and the inheritance is getting out of hand. What situation? Tom steps forward. Come on, man. Rachel's been crying to everyone about how you're being controlling and vindictive. Derek's just trying to help his sister. Help her what? Steal my inheritance? Nobody's stealing anything, Derek interjects. We're talking about smart financial planning. Rachel's a lawyer, Jack. She knows how to handle money. So does my sister, Annie. Mike shakes his head. Annie runs a hair salon, Jack. Rachel's got connections, investment opportunities. She could turn that property into real money. For who? For everyone. For you, for her, for the community. Development brings jobs, growth. I look at these men I've known for decades. And what did Derek promise you guys? Contracts when he develops the land? Tom's face reddens. This isn't about money, Jack. It's about doing what's right. Right for who? Derek steps between us. Right for Rachel. She's your wife, Jack. She should be your priority, not some sentimental attachment to a rundown garage. That rundown garage supports us. Has for 5 years. Barely, Derek sneers. Rachel deserves more than barely getting by. Mike jumps in. Look, Jack, we've all been friends forever, but lately you've been different. Suspicious, angry, unreasonable. Rachel's scared of you. Scared of me? She says you follow her around, accuse her of things, threaten her about the inheritance. I stare at Mike. And you believe that? I believe my friend is in pain, and her husband isn't supporting her. Tom nods. We're here because we care about both of you. But if you can't see what you're doing to Rachel, maybe you need some space to think. Space? Derek smiles coldly. We think you should move out for a while. Let Rachel have some peace while you figure out your priorities. Get out of my shop, all of you. Jack, come on, Mike pleads. We're trying to help. Help? You're here threatening me on Derek's behalf. Some friends. Tom's voice hardens. We're here because Derek's right. You're being selfish and cruel to Rachel. She's done nothing but try to build a future with you. A future that requires stealing my inheritance. It's not stealing if she's your wife, Derek shouts. Marriage is a partnership, Jack. Everything should be shared. Then why didn't she share her lawyer meetings with me? The room goes silent. Finally, Mike speaks. Maybe because she knew you'd react like this. Angry, paranoid, controlling. Or maybe because she's planning to cut me out. That's ridiculous, Tom says. Rachel loves you. Rachel loves my inheritance. Derek steps forward aggressively. You don't deserve her, Jack. You never did. She's brilliant, beautiful, successful, And you're just a grease monkey who got lucky. Lucky enough to inherit what she wants. Lucky enough to marry above your station, but luck runs out. The threat is clear. I look at Mike and Tom. And you guys are okay with this? Mike shifts uncomfortably. We just want what's best for everyone. What's best is for all of you to leave. Now. Derek smirks. Fine, but this isn't over, Jack. Rachel deserves better, and she's going to get it. After they leave, I call Annie. They just showed up with Mike and Tom, trying to intimidate me into giving up the inheritance. Those bastards. What did you tell them? To get lost. But Annie, I'm done playing nice. What do you want to do? I want to show this town exactly who Derek and Rachel really are. I start with the will. The next morning, I meet with Glick and make it official. Everything goes to Annie. Then I ask him to do something special. I want you to call Rachel's lawyer and inform them that she's been removed from any inheritance claims. That's unusual, but legal. Do it today. By afternoon, Rachel's phone is ringing nonstop. She comes home in a panic. Jack, what did you do? I secured my inheritance. You can't cut me out. I'm your wife. Watch me. She calls Derek immediately. Within an hour, he's at our house screaming about lawyers and legal challenges. You can't do this, Jack. Rachel has rights. Rachel has the right to whatever I choose to give her. I choose to give her nothing. Derek's face turns purple. We'll fight this. We'll prove you're mentally incompetent, coerced, unstable. Good luck with that. But I'm just getting started. That evening, I visit Mrs. Patterson, the town's biggest gossip. She runs the church auxiliary and knows everyone's business. Mrs. Patterson, I need to tell someone what's been happening, and I trust your discretion. For the next hour, I tell her everything. The secret meetings, Derek's threats, Rachel's betrayal, Mike and Tom's intimidation. I show her the photo of Rachel and Derek at lunch. Oh my, she gasps. That poor girl, being manipulated by her own brother. I'm not sure she's being manipulated, Mrs. Patterson. I think they're working together. By the next morning, half the town knows the story. By evening, everyone's talking about it. Rachel confronts me at the shop. People are staring at me, Jack, whispering, "What did you do?" I told the truth. You're destroying my reputation. You destroyed our marriage. Derek shows up an hour later with Mike and Tom again. This time, they're angrier. You son of a bitch, Derek snarls. You're spreading lies about Rachel all over town. What lies? You know what lies. People are saying she's trying to steal your inheritance, that she and I are what, Derek? Mike steps forward. Jack, this has gone too far. Rachel's getting harassed at work. People are treating her like a criminal. Maybe she should have thought about that before she started plotting. Tom shakes his head. We tried to be reasonable with you, but you're determined to destroy an innocent woman. Innocent? She met with lawyers behind my back to figure out how to get my inheritance. She was trying to help you make smart decisions, Derek shouts, by cutting me out of my own will, by maximizing the value of the estate. I laugh. For whose benefit? Derek's composure finally cracks completely. For everyone's benefit. That property is wasted on you, Jack. You're small-minded, unambitious, content to live in mediocrity forever. Rachel deserves more. Then maybe she should have married someone else. Maybe she should have. Maybe it's not too late. The threat hangs in the air. Mike and Tom look uncomfortable, but they don't contradict Derek. Are you threatening my marriage, Derek? I'm stating facts. Rachel's young, beautiful, successful. She has options. And you're one of them? Derek's silence is answer enough. I look at Mike and Tom. And you guys are okay with this? With Derek breaking up my marriage for my inheritance? Mike shifts uncomfortably. We just want everyone to be happy. Everyone except me. Tom speaks up. Jack, maybe you should consider what's best for Rachel. If you really love her, you'll want her to be fulfilled. Fulfilled by my inheritance? Fulfilled by her potential, Derek interjects. Something you'll never understand. I've heard enough. Get out, all of you, and don't come back. Derek smiles coldly. Fine. But remember, Jack, Rachel has choices, and she's starting to realize she made the wrong one 5 years ago. After they leave, I make a decision that will change everything. I spend the next week gathering evidence. Photos of Rachel and Derek together, records of their meetings, documentation of the inheritance scheme. Then I plan something that will expose them both publicly. The annual town barbecue is this Saturday. Everyone will be there, including Rachel, Derek, Mike, Tom, and all the people who've been gossiping about us. I ask Mrs. Patterson if I can make an announcement about the inheritance situation. Of course, dear. People are very concerned about you and Rachel. Saturday arrives. The whole town gathers in Central Park. Rachel shows up with Derek, playing the role of supportive brother. Mike and Tom avoid eye contact with me. When Mrs. Patterson calls me to the microphone, I see Rachel's face go white. Friends and neighbors, I begin. There's been a lot of talk about my inheritance situation, and I want to set the record straight. The crowd goes silent. 5 years ago, I married Rachel because I loved her. I thought she loved me too. But recently, I discovered that she's been meeting with lawyers to figure out how to claim my inheritance, without telling me. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Rachel starts to stand, but Derek pulls her back down. I also discovered that she's been working closely with her brother Derek on this plan. Very closely. I pull out the photo of them at lunch and hold it up. This was taken last week at Romano's. Notice how they're sitting, how they're touching, how they're looking at each other. The crowd gasps. Rachel jumps to her feet. Jack, stop this! You're twisting everything. Am I? Derek, would you like to explain to everyone why you told me Rachel deserves better than her husband? Why you said she made the wrong choice marrying me? Derek's face turns crimson. You're taking things out of context. What context, I ask, makes it okay for my wife's brother to sabotage my marriage for my inheritance? Mike jumps in. Jack, this is cruel. Rachel's done nothing wrong. Really? Then why did you and Tom show up at my shop to convince me to sign over my property? What did Derek promise you? The crowd falls silent. Eyes turn toward Mike and Tom. Tom's mouth opens, but nothing coherent comes out. We were just trying to help, he mutters. Help who? Me? Or Derek's development project? Whispers ripple through the crowd. The realization spreads like fire. Rachel starts crying, but I keep going. I've changed my will. My inheritance goes to my sister Annie, the only person who's never tried to use me. Gasps, murmurs. Rachel's tears turn to panic. And as for my marriage, I continue, it's over. Rachel can take her business partnership with Derek somewhere else. Jack, please, she screams. You're ruining everything. No, I say. I'm setting it right. Derek tries to shout me down. He's unstable, paranoid. But Mrs. Patterson rises from her chair. Jack Sullivan has more integrity than any of you, she says firmly, and I believe every word he said. The crowd nods. The tide is against them now. Mike and Tom start edging for the door. Leaving already? I call out. Don't you want to explain how you tried to help Derek steal my land? They freeze. The crowd glares. Mike stammers. We didn't mean... You meant exactly what you did, I say. You just thought money mattered more than loyalty. Rachel's sobbing now. I love you, Jack. Please. Love doesn't come with a price tag, I say, walking away. By the time I reach my truck, the town has turned on them. 2 weeks later, Rachel moves out. Derek's projects collapse. Mike and Tom lose their social circle, and I still have everything that matters. Sometimes revenge doesn't need cruelty, just the truth, spoken loudly enough for everyone to hear.